But yes, having to reset multiple times. What we were saying is that sometimes it's forced on you, right? And then
Right.
sometimes choose. I think one time in my life, in maybe my mid 20s, I chose to reset because
Uh-huh.
of what's going on in my life, and I was just like, okay, it's time for me to stop. And I actually went on this hiatus for 3 years. I went back to school. I didn't really hang out with anyone, and that was more of my choosing. But I think now, especially in light of COVID-19, a lot of us have been forced to reset or live in a space that we're not comfortable with. So I'm wondering if you could speak to that and also talk about Joyful Planet, right? And
Yeah.
how can we use Joyful Planet now?
Right. Well, actually, my reset in life and in my career actually happened 18 years ago. And that's when I was forced to discover and articulate my purpose in life at a time when I had no energy to do this. I could barely get out of bed in the morning. And that's when I went to see an executive coach for help because I had to get out of bed. I was a CEO of a PR and marketing agency. Not good if, as a CEO, you can't get out of bed. So I went to see this coach, and she said, I can help you, don't worry, but first I need you to rethink your purpose in life. And when I heard this, I was annoyed because I just finished telling this woman I can barely get out of bed in the morning, and she wants me to think of a grand purpose for the rest of my life. But she was pretty adamant. She said, unless you can do that, I can't help you live your purpose. And if you live your purpose, then you will feel better. So over the next 2 weeks, I considered and rejected many possible life purpose statements until I settled on one, which is the only one that didn't sound like bullshit. I went back to see the coach 2 weeks later, and I said, my purpose is informed by the nearly 3,000 people who died on 9/11. They went to work that morning and they didn't come home for dinner, which is a shocking occurrence. And our office was in the West Village, so we could actually see the Twin Towers from one of our offices. And so it was, I just could not get over the fact that 3,000 people went to work that morning and didn't come home that evening. And I knew they were cut short, because all of them, I'm sure, had things they were planning to do in the future, whether it was that evening, that weekend, next summer, when they retire, whatever, right? But they never had a chance to actually get to that future. So I said to the coach that I wanted to live my life in such a way that I could be good to go, ready to go, if I was ever like one of those people caught short, whether it's 9/11 or COVID-19, it doesn't matter, right? I wanted to live my life in such a way that I could be ready to go. And so I said to her that my purpose in life is simply to choose joy in my life every day, to be mindful of that joy, and to share that joy with others. It was a 3-part purpose: choose joy, be mindful of it, and share it with others. And I said to her that I think if I could live my life this way every day, I think I could be good to go, because it really wouldn't matter the quantity of time you had left, but the quality of that time, right? So just by sharing that life purpose with her, so many things happened as a result of me actively living that purpose, which my coach helped me to do. Immediately, I started taking up ballroom dance lessons because that's something I wanted to do since I was 8 years old, but never got around to doing it. So I start taking ballroom dance lessons, get hooked. Then I start competing in ballroom competitions, and then I start winning some competitions. And then I realized, wait a second, I have to share my joy. What am I doing to share my joy? I'm experiencing a lot of joy, but I don't know that I'm sharing it as fully as I should. So I decided I'm going to write a book. And I wrote a book called Becoming Ginger Rogers: How Ballroom Dancing Made Me a Happier Woman, a Better Partner, and a Smarter CEO. And I wanted to share the lessons that I learned, which actually helped me to grow my business, because one of the things you learn from ballroom dancing is how to close partner with another person. And in order to win championships, you need to partner very closely and dance as one unit. And so I was able to take that lesson beyond the dance floor and close partner with other uh, mid-sized national PR agencies just like us to form successively bigger agencies.
Right.
So I co-founded two other larger and larger mid-sized national PR agencies. And the last one, Padilla, was one of the top 10 largest independent PR firms and the largest employee-owned PR agency when we founded it. And then after I, fulfilled my earnout, I decided that I wanted to do something. I wasn't sure what. And so I looked back over my life and career and realized that the single most important thing I ever did for myself was to discover and then actively live my purpose. So I decided to start Joyful Planet in 2015, which is what I did, specifically to help individuals and organizations discover and actively live their purpose, because I think that's how you unleash your full leadership potential and greater success and fulfillment and joy. And as a result of doing that, I wrote two other best-selling books in the few years following that about purpose, life purpose and organizational purpose. And in fact, one was Live Your Life Purpose and Unleash Your Joy. And the other one was about purpose as a competitive advantage in business and life, which is what I really view discovering and actively living your life purpose to be. And then I think probably the most exciting thing that living my purpose did for me was it gave me more time and energy and joy that I could share with others. And I'm very actively involved in three nonprofits, one of which is Dancing Classrooms, which actually uses the vehicle of ballroom dance to unleash social, emotional, and cognitive learning in young children. So many amazing things have happened to me since I discovered and began to actively live my purpose, that even in this time of COVID-19, which has been a very challenging time for all of us, right? I've just focused on living my purpose. So actually what I've been doing, I've been busier than I was pre-COVID-19.
I think we all have.
I know. I mean, but one of the things that I did was create this Joy in a Time of Coronavirus Zoom event series. So every 2 weeks, I feature an artist or a healer, someone who can bring us a little bit of comfort and joy during this challenging time, help us to get through it. And then I've been working on two fairly significant diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. And in fact, next week, I guess it's next week, May 27th, will be this event that we've been organizing called in celebration of Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So on May 2017, we have like 17 amazing speakers and moderators and a keynote and we're going to just discuss everything having to do with, the 170-year history that Asian Americans have been in America, and how Asian American history is not just the history of Asian Americans, but the history of America, because a lot of the things that have happened to Asian Americans have actually helped us to evolve our laws about, all men being created equal in this country. Right. So for me, that's a very joyful and fulfilling thing that I'm doing. And then, and then I have a lot of, important and fulfilling work in supporting my nonprofits, because they're all suffering during this time, right? There isn't a sector that hasn't really been pretty devastated by it, and nonprofits, are really hard hit. So we've come up with some exciting ways to strengthen our delivery of mission even during COVID-19, and it's going to set us up even more strongly beyond COVID-19. So I'm very excited, and I've been doing my workshops virtually, and that's been an exciting experience. So I never used to do virtual workshops pre COVID-19. So, and I've
we're going to get you a phone stand. That's going to be the next thing. We're going to get you a phone stand, a microphone.
Yeah. I got to get more equipped for
it's all good. I love it. So I have a question from Jackson on Facebook, and the question is: some people think it's not possible to live your purpose and make a living. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Yes, that's a great question. Most people erroneously think that's so. It's not, because your life purpose overarches your entire life, and you live your purpose through every area of your life, not just through your job. But here's the thing: if you don't know what your purpose is, you can't even fully live your purpose through any area of your life, including your job. So the only way to have a more fulfilling life is by discovering and then actively living your life purpose in every area of your job. Because here's the thing: if you know what your life purpose is, then you should challenge yourself. How can I live my life purpose more actively, more fully through my company, through my organization? Okay, that's an easier task when you know your purpose. All right. So, I think a lot of people don't want to deal. Here's the other thing: a lot of people don't want to figure out their life purpose. And I've been told this.
I was just going to ask you, how do you figure that out?
Yeah. They feel that if I know my purpose, now I'm accountable for living my life purpose. And yes, the answer is yes to that. And then if I know my life purpose, I'll have to quit my day job. Well, that is not true. Because we still need to pay the rent or the mortgage. That's right. But you were asking me a different question: how to discover
so what I was going to say, like, how do you discover it? I've been very fortunate to work with some career coaches and consultants, and some of my friends are, and they all give their ideas of how to find that. But that is a question: like, how do you find your purpose? To me, it's not that easy. The one thing I think about is, what did I want to do when I was a kid? What did I love? What lit me up? Because normally that still lights you up, right? In some way.
Yes.
But I would love to hear from someone much more. You have much more expertise than I do in the life coach thing.
Well, here's the thing, because when I worked in PR and marketing, a lot of the work we did had to do with identifying the essence of a brand, a consumer or a corporate brand, and then teasing that out and building a distinguishing platform for that brand, whether it's a consumer or corporate brand, to distinguish it from every other brand. Okay. So and then we would do campaigns year over year to build their brand, based on that essential truth. So here's the thing: I'm just doing that now for individuals, trying to help you tease out the essential truth of who you are, because a life purpose really is about who you are at your essence, what matters most, and how you serve others. Okay. So I developed this 11-question questionnaire because, I was trying to figure out what is the fewest number of questions that I would need the answer to, so I could help somebody, finalize their life purpose. And really, this questionnaire leads you to writing the first iteration of your purpose statement based on your responses to that questionnaire. Okay, it'll give you some insight into what your purpose should be. And then what I do is, once somebody does that, I'll look at what they wrote and all their responses to make sure it tracks. And because this is my expertise, right, I can restate or tweak or edit or rewrite whatever they write, because not everybody can do this easily, because it's not something unless you're trained to do this and you have a lot of experience, it doesn't come that easily.
That's
So
right.
if any of your community is interested in a copy of my 11 question questionnaire, just send me an email, patrice@joyfulplanet.com, and I'll send it to you. And if you complete it as fully as you can and send it back to me, I will try to help as many people as I can.
That's right.
That's what I'm committed to doing.
That's right.
That's my way of helping to create a more joyful planet.
So that's, that leads me, thank you. And I'm going to share all this information anyway, and the video will be available for everyone to view later. Here's my real question behind all of that. What if you have, and Jacqueline has a similar question, and I'll check over here. Any other questions? No. Hey, Mom. So my question really is, can't you have more than one joy, one passion, one
absolutely
thing? How do you work with that? Like your life purpose? Do you have 5 life purposes?
No. And that's why the way you write it, because some people, I think, write their purpose too narrowly, so it's specific to one thing. If you remember my purpose, to choose joy in my life every day. Now, joy for me could be ballroom dancing, helping dancing classrooms, doing, diversity, equity, and inclusion initiative. It could be supporting my nonprofits. There's many things that bring me joy. And I just have to remember to always choose joy rather than things that don't bring me joy. That's when I get into trouble, if I choose things that are not going to bring me joy. So my purpose is simply to keep me on the path of what I want, which is to produce joy for myself. So no, you shouldn't have, and people ask me this too, should I have a personal life purpose and a professional life purpose? No, it's called a life purpose because it overarches all areas of your life. And it should be written in a way that it overarches what you might love to do and what you perhaps what you might love to do in terms of work, but not necessarily, okay? Because every person is different. It just really depends on, what really is
what's at your core. Yeah. So what are some, so we're going to do the questionnaire, right? Everyone's going to email Patrice for the questionnaire. What are some other tools that we can explore to start this joy?
Well, joy is, people think that just because my consultancy is called Joyful Planet, that boom, you can get joy. Now, I think there are many ways that you can experience joy. You can take a walk in nature, you can meditate, you can, exercise, you can have a fabulous meal and a deep, heartfelt conversation with someone else. All of those things bring moments of joy. But I think that the most sustaining, enduring way to constantly produce joy in your life is to live your purpose. And your purpose is about leveraging your talents and your expertise and your passion in service of other people and our planet. Yeah. So life purpose isn't just about achieving your wildest goals and dreams. It should, yes, encompass that. But part of a life purpose is how you serve others, how you leverage your talents and your expertise and your passion in service of other people and our planet. If your life purpose does not communicate how you serve others, it's not a life purpose. It's just your goals and dreams, which is fine. But if we're talking about producing, enduring, sustaining fulfillment and satisfaction and joy, then the only way or the best way I know is to discover and actively live your life purpose. And that's another thing. If you discover your life purpose and just file it in a folder and never look at it or think about it is not going to drive you or focus you to accomplish what you say matters most. you need to recite that purpose to yourself, almost like an affirmation
Right.
every day, even more often. And you need to share your purpose with others, because when you share your purpose with others, you make yourself more fully known to others. And in that way, kind of create greater engagement with other people and possibly enlist their support to help you accomplish what matters most. So you must live your purpose and do something every day or every week to actively live your purpose. And think about this, right? If you did something every day for 365 days during the year to live your purpose, you know that at the end of the year, you will have made great strides against accomplishing what you say matters most, right?
Right.
Right. So it's working it that
I have some work
all
to
the
do.
difference. Yes.
That's right. That's right. Because I feel, personally in my life, I know my purpose, right? I feel like what I'm doing right now, I love. It's not my 9 to 5, right? It's not how I make money. I'm not seeking to do that at this point, right? I have my goals of what I want to do. But I love this connection, this personal connection, and basically connecting people. I'm like a walking LinkedIn. I love it. I really do love that.
This is the way you serve others. You bring people together. You allow them to learn things that they didn't know before that is going to help them move forward more fully in their lives. Right.
That's right. That's right. All right. So I have 2 more questions. The second one, the second to last one is, how do you live out, you are personally accountable for your own purpose is what I'm hearing, right? Doing small actions each day and, make yourself live in that or walk in that. But what do you do when you're not in the right environment, right? So let's say you're in a toxic environment, whatever that may be, right? Because I know I've been reading a lot of like news reports, domestic violence issues and stuff. And, to keep it real, if someone's listening to this right now and they're just like, yeah, I want to live in my purpose, but I'm surrounded by vultures or people who don't care, or they have their own issues. Like, how do you survive in those types of situations? For real, because not everyone can, live. They can decide, right? We can make that decision, but really, like, what do we do, or what do people do if they're not in the right environment, surrounded by the right people?
Yeah. Again, I think that it really is about identifying and what it is that's most important for you to accomplish in your life, and expressing it through a life purpose, and just focusing on living that purpose. The thing is that if we give in to all of the noise around us and give up because the environment is too overwhelming, and a lot of people are feeling that way, helpless in the face of COVID-19, right?
Mm-hmm.
And someone, a friend of mine, Davia Temin, actually posted this, which I thought was great. There is, and you know her, a very famous, kind of controversial Nobel laureate, Aung San Suu Kyi, right, who was under house arrest in Burma for 20 years. And someone asked her, how do you live under house arrest for 20 years? And she said, when you're feeling helpless, help someone. That is the best way to not feel helpless, and that you have nothing to give. And we all have things that we can give, all things that we can help others to do. And that, to me, is the essence of what a life purpose is, and what living your life purpose is about. How can you support other people along their journey? Because a life purpose implicitly, it's implicit in a life purpose statement that you understand that your life is connected to every other life. And because you are connected to every other life, then by serving others, we're actually serving ourselves, right? And living our life purpose is about helping ourselves succeed, yes, but helping others to succeed as well, right? And so I think sometimes people forget that there are ways that even in the most dire of situations, we can still help someone else who might be even worse off. I know
Right.
people are sometimes in unspeakably terrible situations,
Yep.
but there is still an opportunity to help someone else feel a little better,
Right.
right? Something, I'm not talking about something that has to necessarily cost money, but just listening to somebody
That's right.
is a great gift, right? It's almost, you know, it's invaluable. You can't really put a price on it, right?
Asking someone how they're doing. Like there's so
Yes,
much power in that right now.
yes, yes,
I've been doing that to a lot of my network,
yes. And it's a simple thing, but it's so powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So what last question? What's the best? And you're getting so much love on everyone's watching and they love it and that's great. So that makes me feel awesome. That's my best thing. I'm trying to like look at my network and I'm like, yeah, this person is amazing. This person is amazing. You are one of those amazing women. So lastly, what I'm trying to see. I want okay. What's the best piece of advice that you've received?
The best piece of advice that I've received?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I would have to say it's from my mother. Growing up in Hawaii, I mean, her words still ring in my ears. And my mother's immortal words were, share your cookies and toys. I swear to God, that has served me in the, in the on the playground and into the boardroom. I mean, nobody wants to play
Wow.
with somebody
That doesn't share, right?
who's not a generous, sharing person, right?
I love it. I love it. That's great. It actually reminded me. I was watching something on Netflix. It was Cook. I think it's Cook in Asia or something. And so they're in Asia and they're going to all these different places and they were in where were they? I think they were in Tokyo or something like that. And the cook had said, "My father told me to be a chicken's head and not a bull's tail." And just hearing things like that, I'm like, it took me a minute, right? I tend to think I'm very wise, but I was like, wait a minute, because he was talking about ownership and basically living your life, right?
Uh-huh.
So yes, go ahead. You wanted to make a comment off of that? Listen, he was saying that because he's just like he was like it's better to be a chicken's head as like the leader, like at the head of something, than at a bull's tail. And he literally was talking about owning your power, not being afraid to step out on faith because he started his own street cart. He did a street cart business, and he was just like, yeah, I was a chicken's head, so a chicken compared to a bull, which one is more stronger? And he's like, I would rather be a chicken's head than a bull's tail, and I thought it was fantastic. So I love when you're in quotes.
I love that too, and I would say that yes, be as fearless as you can about just doing stuff you've never done before. Because if you can kind of go beyond your limiting beliefs and fears, you can learn more things, new things, and open up your knowledge and your toolkit to be able to produce even greater, bigger, more satisfying things. So
that's right. And then try not to be so perfect. I keep on saying it on some of these videos, like, yes, sometimes we have tech issues. Sometimes, we have to listen, we're doing the work. That's the goal. The goal of all of this is to provide enriching conversations to people who are willing to listen, no matter what it is, right? So if it's, hey, we don't have a pretty Zoom background or whatever, all this wonderful thing going on, come to the message. That's what I want you to do.
Yeah, here's one of my friends told me this when I was saying how bad I was when I first started ballroom dancing, and I was so terrible. And she said to me, anything worth doing is worth doing badly, because that's how we learn, right?
That's
Unless
right.
you get through this fear that we have of not being perfect and doing things badly, you can never get to any greater mastery of something. And then one thing that I learned from the ballroom world, which is so fabulous, because you know how women especially were guilty of this. We want to be perfect, right? Because somehow if we think we're perfect, then people will like and love us and our life will be, lovely. What I learned from ballroom dancers is they're not, for them, perfection is not a destination. It's just a direction, right? So if you take off that nobody's ever going to achieve perfection and every day is just about trying to get it better and a little more perfect, that's a much more achievable thing than measuring yourself against perfection and the failure to achieve perfection. That's just a sucky way to live, right?
100%. And I agree. And I full disclosure, video was never really my thing. I've always worked behind the scenes, mastermind and PR and marketing and doing all this stuff. But getting on camera and doing what we're doing now is just not something that I still don't necessarily enjoy it because I'm just not a video camera person. But
yes. But you should be on camera because your energy is just so palpable.
Well, thank you. Same here. I always get those messages afterwards. They're like, "You need to be on TV." I'm like, "Oh no, never!" Right?
Exactly.
Bring that energy. I'm like, "Oh, I'm just pumped up about life, Patrice." That's really what it is. I'm very happy, and even when I'm not, I see I don't know. I don't know how to explain it as eloquently as you would, but I don't know. Life is. I'm here. I'm still living.
Let me ask you this. I bet you are always in gratitude, grateful for everything in your life. And really, to me, I think that's what creates happiness is just being grateful and for every little thing. Like, my purpose is to choose joy. Well, I did an experiment once. Every morning I would ask for joy during the day. And then I said, words really matter. What happens if I ask for tremendous joy today? So that day, in the evening before I go to bed, I count all the joyful episodes of the day. So the days when I was just asking for joy, I could count easily like 8 to 10 episodes of joy during the day. But when I asked for tremendous joy, I was like counting 20 and 25 without, difficulty. And the words are so powerful. That's why discovering and articulating your life purpose is a powerful thing to do, especially if you're actively living it. And every time you say something that you don't want to happen and you focus on it, guess what?
It happens. It happens.
You're like a machine to manufacture misery.
That's right. I tend to believe all the universe knows how to do is answer. Whatever you say, it's answering. And that's how I feel, and I'm grateful for a lot of things. And even in this moment, which I know that there are people are suffering and not thinking on those lines. The one thing I am happy about, and I don't share it much, but I was running so much between commuting back and forth to Manhattan, taking my kids to this school, going to this event, doing this. And I love events. All that's great. But I was doing so much that I didn't have a lot of time to be with my kids. Yeah. And now I have all the time to be with my kids. And I'm just, and sometimes they drive me crazy, but I'm just like, you know what? I can get up and we can literally have breakfast together. And I know this is not going to last forever, but I'm just like, I really am appreciating the moment that we have this time. I was used to cry, literally driving back home crying. Like, I only talk to my kids 20 minutes a day. This is ridiculous. By the time I get home, they sleep, or like, it's just, yes, I find joy in everything.
Yeah, I think the earth needed a grand reset because that is no way for human beings to be living, right?
That's right. Yeah. 100%. But Patrice, thank you so much for this. This is This is amazing. I knew it was going to be amazing. I have my notes over here. I always tell people, hey, have your notebook because there's so many great things to write down. But I do appreciate this, and I'm online. I'm watching what you're doing. I love the plates that you post. I wish I had that food. Oh, every time I see it, I look forward to it every night. Patrice posts pictures of food that I think your neighbor sends over to you, and so delicious looking.
In fact, tonight she said, she has an air fryer, so she's making pork chops, and that air fryer is a magic machine. Anyway,
Really?
I'm going to deliver it like between 6:30 and 7. I said, well, I'm going to be on this Facebook Live thing. She said, I'll just leave it at the door. So of course, I want to show everyone what she produces these wonderful meals, and it's like, I'm so grateful because it's hard cooking for one, just.
Girl, I just finished cooking 10 minutes before this call. So, yeah, I know I am tired of eating my own food. I mean,
shout out to Liza Sue. Thank you for those wonderful meals.
Yes. Thank you, Patrice. Go enjoy your meal, and thank you everyone else for watching. This video will be on YouTube and on Facebook if you want to listen to it again. I'm going to edit the first part out because we had some troubleshooting to deal with, but we're all good now. Thank you so much, and have a good night. All right.
Oh, thanks, and thank you, everybody. Zanade, I adore you. I'm so glad we were able
to talk. Same here. Talk to you later.
Aloha.
Bye. Aloha.
All right. Let's see if we can do